There we go. And now we're recording. So, So, last time was a very, very, very interesting in that Dennis wandered off to infiltrate the Gatekeepers, who are a outlaw band who seem to be run by an ex-Blackcoat and his vampire mistress. There are about 150 to 200 riders over there, which is not great, considering there are about 20 in Tombstone. And the rest of the party, in terms of Sangun, Filberto, and a load of others, went over to bury the dead in the dead mounds that are way, way out in the boonies of the driftwood. Not but the driftwood's so big, you're literally a couple of miles in. About 10, 20 miles in, essentially, to this thousands and thousands of miles expanse of wasteland that's out there. So, you guys buried the dead successfully, and you met a ratter. You don't know his name yet, but he does have a sword, and he is essentially I described him as Splinter from TMNT, which is basically what he is. He is a rat samurai, indeed. And his group, which is a wandering band, what look like ragged mercenaries, or just normal people, essentially, who are wandering around. Some of them have, swords, but most of them have guns. And that's where we are. That's where we are right now. You guys have just received a message also from a panicked Dennis, who cannot write, and so he has done a rather lovely drawing of a big titty vampire woman, a man with a black coat on, a rather large line with an arrow pointed to it and with a tombstone drawn on it, and lots and lots and lots of men counted off in check marks, essentially. So you know that there's about you get the gist. There's about he's looking about 200 men that he's counted. And there's lots of exclamation marks all over this. So you can tell Dennis was pretty panicked when he drew this, but he still had time to get that across in his message before he had to send it back with his horse. So what do you guys want to do? It's been a few hours now. We'll begin with the party. It is not a happy letter, no. It is a strictly unhappy letter so far. So what would you guys like to do?
I'll look to Sangun and say, do we think we can handle 200?
Definitely not, but if they're going to come, I don't know that we can run. I think we're going to have to find some way of dealing with them. I've got a couple of ideas, but I don't know how much we can, what we have resources wise. One way or another, we have to get back to Tombstone.
How many days back would it be to Tombstone?
About
Ditch the cart.
about a day and a half, if that.
Fair enough.
You could whack at least half a day off your journey. You took two days to get to where you are now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean the cart was loaded. It's no longer loaded. I don't know that we necessarily need the cart. I think we just are gonna have to hard ride at least to get a message out there ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did Dennis actually mention anything that was going on at the camp other than just the sheer number of men that there
Dennis can't write, so what he's given you is a not phonetic, but a visual representation of what he saw. You do realise that the boobs in you do realise in the boobs in the tombstone in the tombstone sketch are very well done. There's a lot of detail in those. In fact, it's weird because everything else is like a stick drawing, but this one thing has like shading on them. Yeah, there's like shading on them, and there's like
I know if he really put the effort into it, he could be a phenomenal artist.
intentional depth of shadow. There's all this. Yeah,
It's almost like they come out of the page.
yeah.
Well, okay then.
There's been a couple of times where Sangard's counting the tally marks again just to be sure, and then his eyes are just drawn.
Yeah.
And he has to just put the paper down because it's just messing with him.
So one of the Tombstone riders called Clark comes up to you guys and says, "Hey, hey, what's that? Oh, Jesus!" And he's looking over your shoulder. He's like, "Whoa, what's Are you gonna keep that or?"
I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna like kind of clap his face and like focus. We need to get back to Tombstone. There's going to be an attack.
Oh shit! And he turned around to his men and like stalks off. And so I just saw when he came over, he's got short black hair. This guy, and he's got like a scraggly 5 o'clock stubble with a few greys in there too. But he doesn't look that old. But it might be overworked and overstressed. But he goes and he rallies the 18 or so riders you got with you, and they start limbering up. The other people in the party who are there, they've now left they're now breaking down their cart that they got all the bodies with. And under the direction of the Ratter, who is standing there. He's helping out here and there, but he sees you guys hurrying off, and then he sort of catches your eye and then just goes back to what he's doing.
I would probably, as we're right before we head off, because we did say we did kind of mention that he could come join us.
Yeah, I think he was planning to, but yeah, you can.
Yeah, so we're gonna tell him. Well, I'm not planning on rescinding our invitation to join us. I'm just letting you know right now. It looks like Tombstone is about to come under an attack, and judging from what our informant sent us, it's going to be a large scale.
He just like scratches one of his whiskers, and just looks down at his sword, and then just looks back up to you and just nods, and just like walks over to his men and like starts giving them, whispered instructions. And the men immediately they leave all of the cart stuff, they leave everything, and they are mostly on foot. So they say they just start getting ready to go, and he turns around to you and says, "These guys, we might not make it as quickly as you, but hey, we'll be there. Well, we'll try."
We'll appreciate any help we can get. We'll just have to hold out as long as we can.
Yeah, and you do notice that you do have a few horses left over from the raid, so I don't know whether you want to offer them or.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll take one of our guys, the fastest rider, and we'll send him ahead with a spare horse.
Yeah, cool.
So
That'd be Clark, yeah.
So he can, so that he can try to get in and maybe make him the day if he rides through the night and swaps horses.
Okay.
So he doesn't burn out the horse.
Yep. So he's gonna leave. He says he'll leave the horse at a tree that you guys passed, a broken tree. He'll tie it there with some food so you can get it when you come past the next day.
All right, and then and just basically, I'm gonna ask him to since these guys all have guns. We have some guns. We don't have a lot of guns. I'm gonna see if he can. I mean, we have like tools for digging and such there. Not just the ones we have, but we have them there. I'm kind of hoping that he can get the townsfolk to start working in trenches.
Yeah. So you want him to ride back really quickly, but also with all that equipment.
No. I mean, I assume we have equipment.
Oh, so you're gonna. Oh, right. Back in the town. Yeah. I mean, he's pretty sure that they can. Yeah. He's like, yeah. I'm pretty sure we got some hose and some some spades. Maybe we could borrow that wood. If you want to bring that wood with you.
Bring them into us before they can start shooting at us, the longer we'll survive.
He just nods. And
I'm going to point out to Sangan and say, maybe we want to follow his lead. This particular lady, perhaps. And she's probably unlikely to be out with the men. Maybe we might want to follow his horse.
Who are we talking about here? You've lost me completely.
We want to. I was looking for Dennis's horse. Dennis's horse back to the base. I want to trail it.
Well, I don't think I don't know that Dennis's horse would go back to the base, would it?
Yeah, probably not.
Okay, I will try to follow its tracks.
Its
what are we
tracks.
trying to? I mean, I think them if you know if I think if we can get through this attack, then we can deal with her after the fact.
You think? There's some there's been some foul play going on.
Yeah.
And she seems to be at the center of it.
Yeah, but it won't it won't help us if we come back if we manage to take her out and we come back and the the raiders are just there to pick us off after the.
Guess, but I don't like that trail running cold.
Oh, I mean we've got Dennis will keep an eye out.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, and if
fine.
There isn't too many places you can go in the wastes.
Yeah, no. I'll limber up on a horse then and.
Okay. So
So the extra horses aside from the couple that I gave to Clark or the extra one I gave to Clark, we'll give to his to the Ratman's people and say just make the ride the trail a little easier. I don't need you guys if you show up exhausted, it's just gonna end up being sorry, I can't do words right now. If you guys manage to make it but you're exhausted, I don't want you to get picked off by these raiders.
So you're saying that to the Ratter, yeah?
Yeah.
So yeah, he just nods and says, I'll tell you what, a few of my guys can get on the horses and I'll just follow on behind. How's that? Me and horses don't really get along.
Understood. And then I'll just kind of like turn to step away, and then just as I'm about to head out, it's what was your name, by the way?
He just looks you up and down and says, Rake.
And then I would put out a hand, and it's like, Sandgren.
He just looks at your massive hand, and just instead of like shaking it, he does what his people do, and he just like taps his forehead and then moves his hand forward a little bit, and
I will mirror the gesture.
Yeah, so he just nods and then shoulders his own pack and then trudges off into the wastes on his own. Before long, without even as you're discussing with Filberto his plans that you're now dissuading for him wandering off and following tracks, you look around, you notice that he isn't there anymore. Like, Rake isn't there anymore. He literally took like 20, 30 steps into the waste and then just disappeared.
I just kind of like cock my head like, where did he? All right, well, I'm sure I kind of look towards his men. It's like, all right, I don't think he's going to be ditching them, so I'm sure we'll see him there. And then just
his men don't look surprised or alarmed at all. No.
Guess he just does that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to turn around to the men and say, all right, let's head out as soon as we can. The sooner we get there, the better our chances of taking these on.
Yeah. Okay. So, we'll cut across to Dennis. It's been an uncomfortable night, Dennis. Where were you sleeping last night? In terms of being in the camp?
Like, we were gonna depart soon, right? So I'd probably skip the night. You said that there was an infirmary, right? Where there's some sick people inside.
Yeah, there is an infirmary there, yeah. But it's quite empty. There's like 4 or 5 people there. Most of them have got like cuts and bruises.
Is it guarded in any way? Are the people heavily wounded?
No, they're not heavily wounded. A lot of them have got like are being treated for scrapes and scratches, and one of them has an old bullet wound that's just refusing to heal properly. So no, it's not really guarded at all.
Would they sleep there?
Yes.
So I would probably wait until they're asleep. Because at this point, this is a pretty dire situation. There's 200 people gonna attack 20 people, so... And I also have a lot of stress, so then would probably go there and try to drink all of the people he can dry. So if it's 4 people and they're asleep, I think that sounds doable.
Okay, so you're looking to lay out for me clearly what you want to do. Clearly, rather than...
Well, I would need to somewhat know the layout of the infirmary. Like, how is it built? Are the beds like... Are there separate rooms? Or is it one like?
Okay,
Is it like
so
curtains?
so the infirmary is essentially one open room with people on beds that are not even private. Okay, this is a band of mercenaries, not a hospital. There is one medical guy. He has a cot in the corner of the room. So on the right hand side of this rusted shack, quite a large area. It looks like it to be an old schoolhouse or something. But on the right hand side, you have four or five different beds, in which 3 of them are occupied by people who are generally sleeping. And there's on the left hand side there is another cot where there is a doctor of some kind making a few tinctures by candlelight. But that's essentially it. There is a fireplace in the center of the room, but there's nothing in it right now.
So the fireplace is not lit.
No. Also, the roof. Have you ever seen those roofs where they've got like windows that line the roofs in like a rectangular pattern around the building? At the top. It's like that.
Yeah.
That's what's letting in light, and then you got the actual roof of the building above that.
So an easy way to get in seems to pretend to be injured. So Dennis might try to get him. Is he injured in any way already? Maybe.
Yeah, you've been banged up a little bit. Yeah, from the last fight, you can get away with looking like you've taken a few scratches and things.
Okay, so he would go there, exaggerate how much it hurts, and once he's examined and it's allowed to stay there, if that's possible, he would probably want the fireplace to be lit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you walk in there is a Sawbones in the corner, obviously doing his thing, and he looks over to you and says, what can I do for you?
I have these pains and aches since the last raid, and I don't really know what to do with that.
He just shrugs and says, you don't look too bad to me. And he gets up and looks around you and says, a few scrapes here and there. Do you have a headache?
Yes.
Maybe I better keep you in here. Go to the boss dead. Alright, choose a bed, lie in it.
I'm really, really cold. Is that normal? Could the fireplace be on?
Sure. And he gives you some some logs and says, if you light it yourself.
That much I can do.
He nods and goes back to his work.
So while I light the fire, I would probably try to partly clog up the chimney. Like, not enough so the room is filled with smoke, but to somewhat clog it up.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically the goal is to cause carbon monoxide poisoning.
Okay.
And I choose the bed next to the window, and open it a little bit.
Okay.
So if people start getting knocked out, I get knocked out last.
Okay. What are you gonna do with the because the doctor is awake, so if he sees this happening, he's gonna try and stop it. So the fire starts. I want you to roll a mind and skullduggery, please, just to make sure that you can shove stuff up the chimney without anyone seeing.
I closed my dock with the stats. Give me a second for that. I think it was 7 though, a total roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just call out how many successes you get.
So I had 4 mind and I think 3 skullduggery.
Yeah.
So that would be 2 successes, but no fail.
Okay, so I would say yeah. You end up you wedge some cloth up there, and it makes it look like you're just trying to make the fire take, and then eventually you get it up there where you're pretty sure the smoke's going to fill the room, and you head back to your bed. You pick your bed and just open the window a little bit, and you lie down in it. After a while, you do notice that the room does start to fill up a little bit with smoke, and the doctor gets up and starts going, buff, buff, and he walks over to it to try and see what's going on with the fire. would you like to do anything, or are you gonna let him have a little look around?
Probably start also coughing very strongly, but like maybe bite my tongue a little bit so I cough up blood to get his attention instead.
Okay. He's probably going to prioritize the carbon monoxide poisoning of everybody over this one guy who's bleeding a little bit. So he's going to go and try and get some water. He's going to go. He gets a pail of water from the corner of the room, and walks back over to the fire. He does have his back to you though.
Oh, can I push him into the fire?
Sure. You could try and do that.
Subtle. Very subtle.
Well, everybody else is supposedly asleep, so.
Yeah, but wouldn't he scream?
Fair point. Maybe I should think about it a little bit. So maybe I instead just grab him from behind so that I cover his mouth so he can't scream. Just like start sucking out his blood.
Yeah. Okay.
Just cosh him in the back of the head.
So that can be a it can be a, depending on how you're trying to do this, it can be strength or swiftness. So you're looking at you're looking at strength or swiftness, whichever one you want to do. And we're gonna go for, let me just have a little look at my rules here. We're gonna go for strength or swiftness with brawn, if you have any brawn.
Seems like the better option here, but yeah, I don't have brawn.
Okay, so whichever one is, because you can't like grapple somebody with your mind. That's the only one you can't grapple with. I would let you do it with skullduggery if you're wanting to really be quiet about this rather than actually holding him in place. If you want to be really quick, get over there and suck as much blood out that he's going to lose consciousness pretty quick. I'll let you do that and use skullduggery.
Okay, so that would be at 10d6 then, so yeah.
That'll be swiftness and skullduggery, yeah.
Yeah, no, in that case the strength thing makes more sense because no, it's actually the same, so 76. Let's
Okay.
do it the quiet way, so I'm not caught.
Okay, quiet wave's good.
So
well,
that's 4 successes.
That's good, and only one failure. So, you grab this guy by the back of the neck with your mouth, and you wrap your hand around the front of his mouth, and you close his windpipe, obviously his nose, and you bite down into his neck. How much are you draining this guy of?
This time I'm gonna drain everyone dry.
He's just gonna drain everyone dry. Shit. Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah. So.
It's not a time for long-term thinking when I'm against 200 people.
So, he is completely at your mercy here. So you drain him dry. You feel the beautiful warmth of blood as it runs down your throat. It's nice and warm. You feel the power growing within you. You feel euphoric. You feel like you can do anything. You feel like the entire world makes sense and you're okay. And it's this feeling you've not had since the last time you fed, essentially. You fed properly. It's the first time you've been able to feed without being molested or without being, looked at or without being, hit, or needing to take your time or needing to speed up. You can take your time and you drain him fully and you lay him down on the bed. You almost thank him for that. It was so nice. It was so good. But you realise he's dead as a doorknob. So you head over to the next guy. And this is going to be a straight skullduggery and strength roll. So I need you to add those two together.
Skullduggery and strength.
Yep, because you're not being quick this time. You're just holding him down and trying to be quiet.
Okay, so 2 plus 7. 96. Ooh, just one failure. And that's all. Wait, strength, that means that 4 are successes.
Yes, 2 successes and 1 failure. Lucky you. So he muffles a little bit, but in a panic, you bite the front of his neck and you rip out his larynx. you're so excited to drink more, you rip out his larynx, so he just gargles, and you start drinking, and you drain him as well. So you are starting to feel a real pulse of vampiric power running through you at this point. And
Doesn't sound good, but I think I'll keep going.
okay, so you head over to there. We need to roll for the next guy. There's 2 more left.
Okay. Am I getting any bonuses from the contingent?
I'll tell you after this. After we're finished.
So 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay. Again, the gargling happens. You know, the guy nearly wakes up, but you manage to get down there and you drain him too. And it feels as if it almost feels like a singularity is happening within you. Like you're literally at a point where you feel like you could do anything. You know, you're not feeling. Have you ever done this where you like you whip your arm around loads in a windmill and then you punch something? There's so much power in it, it's ridiculous. And you feel like that right now. You've like if you touch something, you could just like explode it through a wall. There's 1 guy left.
Okay, let's go for the last guy. 1, 2.
Okay.
Successes
Uh-oh.
and 3 failures. So
Yeah, so this guy's already stirring by the time you get over to him. And it's going to take a grapple to get him down again. So you're going to have to strength roll and brawn if you have it. And he's going to strength and brawn against you.
Can I use my wound sensing for it first?
Yeah, because you've drained so much, yes you can.
I mean, he's probably also wounded, so that was Devil Blood plus Mind, right?
Yep.
So that's 1 success and 1 failure.
Okay,
Devil Blood.
so this is his
For
grappling
the-
roll, what I've done. This is his grappling roll.
Okay, so do I did the no, the wound sensing didn't succeed in 3 successes. So
Let's see if yeah. I was about to say, let's see if you out grapple him first, 'cause you probably will. Oh yeah, so you literally just,
Yeah.
he struggles, and what you don't realize is he struggles, so you go, oh no, so you go to like hold him still, you just tear his head straight off, such is your strength. His head just comes off, and you're covered in blood, and you're just like looking at your own clothes, you're burying your face in his neck joint. It's like, you know, to just suck out all of the blood that you can, and you stagger back into the room with your arms raised, like ha, and you're just so euphoric right now, and you feel like you want to go to the tent of that guy who dared talk that way about you and your friends. You want to just go in there and rip his spine out, use it to choke his vampire woman near to death, and just have your way with her over any sort of object that's in there. It's overwhelming, this predatory sense of wrongness that is coming over you, but it feels so right.
So I do imagine he will be able to keep track of the plan he has.
So I'm going to give you a devil's bargain.
Oh god.
So, you can do one of 2 things. You can either give in to... So, you can either take a crippling addiction to blood. A crippling addiction to blood, which means every single session from now on that you don't drink blood in between or in the session. Basically, if you don't drink blood within a session from now on, you will start every other session on 8 stress. This goes beyond the rules that are in the book because you've drunk that much blood, and I never thought people were going to drink this much blood in one session. Now, that's one choice. Your second choice is to give in to your desires, is to try and find a way into that tent. Now, when you get there, you will fight that guy, or you will try and kill him, and you will do exactly what I just said, because I will take control of the character at that point, because your inner beast will be let loose. But you get +5 points to put into any stat that you wish. So it could be core attributes or it could be skills, whatever you want. And you don't get an addiction.
It's a devil's bargain.
So you could put +5 into any of your core attributes or spread it across, or you could get +5 into any of your skills or spread it across, or do a bit of both. But in doing that, you will have to do exactly what Filberto put there. Yes, you'll have to go basically Super Saiyan Vampire, run straight into the tent and murder or assault in more ways than one anything that is in there at the time.
Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna go with the first option because there's still 200 people around, and they kind of like him, so no.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna take the crippling addiction.
Okay, so you so want to go over there. It feels so right to you. It's getting right into the center of your being. But as soon as you make the decision not to, there's almost like a voice in your head screams at you that you're a fool and you're an idiot and you're making the wrong choice and you're going to get everybody killed because you wouldn't make the hard decision. And you blot that down, you calm yourself down, and you sink to your knees on the floor, and for a good 20 minutes you're rocking back and forth, just letting things calm down, until finally you stagger to the wash basin and start washing off the blood from your clothes and from your mouth. And you look like a junkie. You look like, give me my fix, man. If something like that from Breaking Bad or something.
All for the plan. So the whole plan here was to obtain corpses. So
yeah.
So I need to get back and to hide a bit of evidence so there's not blood everywhere. But I guess that didn't go up. So the sucking. So I would go back there and probably take out all the corpses out of there.
Okay, so the infirmary is actually not in the center of camp, but it's kind of near. You're not going to be able to move corpses around outside without being seen by pretty much anybody.
I cut them up inside.
Okay, so you're just going to cut them up?
Pieces. Yeah, because the plan here is if we start marching and I put them into barrels and they start reviving in the middle of the march, and they are not the controlled zombies, they're the bad zombies, they should cause some trouble.
Yeah, so you're just going to dismember them, put them in a sack each, and then take them out, essentially.
Yeah, put them in sacks and hide them among the supplies, maybe barrels, because those will stink less. Okay,
that's going to take you at least an hour and a half. So you're going to have to hope somebody doesn't come in the meantime, wanting an aspirin or something, and then sees somebody, this crazed vampire chopping up body parts.
I was dressed up as the doctor.
Yeah, I mean, the doctor is chopping up everyone's. I mean, yeah, could work. But let me just roll to see if anyone comes in. 20 people around. No one comes in. So for the next hour and a half, you are pretty much safe to go about chopping up bodies. There is blood everywhere now, and you are literally wanting to drink again already. Like you're getting to the point where, in fact, this is going to be you're gonna have to take 4 stress from this. You're chopping up bodies, and you want to drink, and you're stopping yourself from doing it because you don't want to have another collapse, and you don't want to go over to to murder and assault everybody in that tent. You want to keep things on the down low. But you do manage to put people into their own sacks. There is a window at the back where you can shove the sacks out if you wish, but they won't go very far.
I mean, I could shove it out and get cleaned up, and I assume some preparations to put down the supplies will start in the morning.
Okay. So, that is fine. So you just pull them over there and shove them through the window. Are you going to pull them around to where the supplies are and just leave them there?
first I would probably just get cleaned up and do that after because I have a whole night, so I assume I could do probably some
Yeah,
other things.
yeah. You can scrub. You can
First on
scrub and make sure you've got another. Well, you've got another half an hour until I've got to roll again to see if anyone comes in.
Okay, so the next thing would be like after washing up would be last session you mentioned that there are explosives, so I would, and they were mostly used for like construction stuff and mining.
Yep.
So I would also hide them in some sort of bags and construction stuff, and also hide them among the supplies.
Okay. Well, we'll do one thing at a time because you're throwing a lot of plans at me. But all these things are pretty risky. So what we'll do is I'm gonna go take a quick toilet break, because for like 2 seconds. But when I get back, we will have you placing the bodies with all the supplies first, and then we'll be rolling to see how you go and get the dynamite and things, and you start putting them into different barrels and stuff. Right? We'll do that. Okay. Right. One sec. I'm not even gonna go on mute because I'm gonna be that quick.
Yeah, you realise if we saw you in your fully crazed state, I would probably say I would be very reluctant to let you live.
I'll be honest, if I knew it would go like that, I would just have killed them normally. Because the thing is, I just wanted corpses, and if I got a stat bonus, I thought to myself, okay, more stats and less stress. That's and then
If you had stopped at like, I think if you had stopped at like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
One situation risky like this, you know.
Yeah.
But I got both worlds, no stress levels, and
You got carried away.
You know what they say about cocaine? It's rather Moorish.
Yeah. I was almost surprised that you took the addiction. Yeah, I was actually surprised. I was thinking you
All
were
right, I'm
actually
back.
gone for that.
I was pretty sure you were going for it.
Because big bonuses, and maybe I would have even beaten the two of them. But the main problem is 200 people around also.
Nah.
That'd have been fine.
So, right. So you take the. No one's gonna really bother you about adding stuff to the supplies. They'll mainly bother about you taking stuff away. So they're not. No one's gonna really have a go at you for that, right? So I'm not gonna make you roll for that. But finding where the explosives are, we are going to need
I already did that last session.
Oh, did you?
Told me where they are.
Okay, fair enough. I can't remember everything.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he did.
And we do a lot of little details.
Yeah.
So if you know where they are, let's head over to see if you can actually get them out of where they need to be. So, for this, we will say that they are in a rather central location, because there's no reason why a band of outfits, misfits, wouldn't want to watch over their supplies. And there are one or two guards wandering about the square with lever action rifles, looking around, and just look really bored. No one's gonna be stupid enough to try anything with the dynamite. So yeah, what would you like to do?
You know that thing where you walk into a place where you're not supposed to be in, but you do it so confidently no one really questions it? I'm gonna try to do that. And if they ask, I'm just gonna pack the dynamite up as if someone orders me to do so.
Alright, that is mind and... Let's go with... Go with skullduggery again. Mind and skullduggery.
Roll 6d6.
Ooh.
Oh no, that's equal.
It is equal,
Fails equals.
but it's not just fails. It's 2 criticals and 2 critical fails, but they basically cancel each other out. So, that is an even roll. So what are you going to say to these guys as you're going in? Or are you just going to walk over and start picking up dynamite?
I think I'm gonna at first walk in and start putting dynamite in a sack.
Okay. They don't do anything at first, but when one of them finally does look closer at what you're doing. He comes over and says, "Hey, the fuck, dude."
I was ordered to prepare them as supplies for the battle, as we're sieging out, in case the locals prepared some sort of fortifications so you can break through.
Who told you to do that?
I mean, who? The boss. I mean, the boss told a guy and the guy told me.
He's like, okay, well, and he's going to do a perception roll. So 3d6. Okay, so he says, all right. Only a few sticks, though. Don't go fucking crazy.
What does sticks though mean?
I mean, sticks of dynamite.
Okay, I do like an okay sign and do just that. Like, I pack just all the dynamite into one bag, or 2 bags, depending how much there is.
If you're going to do that much, he's going to, like, say again, you know, if you try and take all the dynamite, he's going to stop you. And you're going to get alarmed.
I mean,
that you're taking all the dynamite.
Enough. I'm going to do as much as is reasonable, let's say.
Okay. So he said a few sticks. You've already put in a few, so you're going on. Well, he didn't know I'd already taken them, so you put in a few extra. That gives you about 8. You've got about 8 sticks of dynamite in there, which is enough to cause some hell of a bit of damage.
Okay, that's something, I guess.
All right.
Put them in one big bag and probably, like, where would be like the? Would I know which one of the carts with the supplies is the most important, as in the one with the weapons?
That will take a perception roll.
Okay, so perception is just mine for me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so you can see, you can't see exactly what's the most valuable, but you can see that there are ammo crates, and they will go off like firecrackers if you put dynamite in there. So
yeah, so yeah, I do that.
Yeah, so are you going to put all of them in there, or are you going to like spread them out?
How many do I think would I need to make the ammunition explode, considering it's ammunition?
1.
Okay, so I put in 2.
Okay.
Just in case.
Now this dynamite needs to be lit.
Yeah, I do understand that. So I put the rest. I keep, let's say, 3 sticks of dynamite on me, and then I put the remaining. It was 8, so I put 2 there. I'm gonna put 3 on me, so the remaining 3 into the cart with food.
Okay, cool, excellent. So you whack them in there. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
How long's the fuse?
I'd say you got about 5 seconds when you've lit one before it goes off.
They're the throwing kind of dynamite.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 seconds is plenty. That's like riding 15 meters away.
Yeah. So
I do imagine I can get from one cart to another as it explodes.
are you done with your preparations? Would you say for the following day's festivities?
I would say yes. Might do some basic sabotage if I can figure out, like throwing feces into the soup pot or stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, you can do little bits of you can just do little bits of annoyance at this stage. That's fine. I would say, unless you can come up with a really good idea, I would say you're pretty much done in terms of things that can actually harm the raid tomorrow. But hey.
Okay, then that's all, I guess. Oh, do I know a way to attract monsters as a Blackcoat if I wanted to attract feral ones?
Can you summon things? Are you able?
I mean, like, there's probably just.
No, I mean, there'll be similar skills. There will be similar skills. Can you summon things right now?
Only Kevin with vodka.
Okay, so and he's back at the farm, so he can't help you out right now. So so no, you wouldn't think there's any real way, because you may be a Blackcoat, but you're not. They're not really. They're the only Blackcoats that are out here are basically the old men in the infirm. And no one really cares about them. or what they know. So they become master rangers of the driftwood by necessity through time. You're not really trained how to deal with the driftwood because there's nothing here that they want apart from, the ferrites that they mine. Um. So you wander around for the rest of the night, unable to sleep because obviously you're so hyped up on blood, and you will be for the next few days probably. So we will go back to the others. You guys are riding through the wastes as quickly as you can, to the point where the horses are nearly shot. They're not, but they nearly are. Rake's people are following as quickly as they can. A few of them, you've given them a few of the extra horses, and a few of them are following. The rest are just wandering back through the waste towards you. You do come up across the bent tree that Clark came to the day before, and the horse is there. Looks completely fine, bit tired, and he's left it there. But there does seem to be a note on the horse.
Sorry, say that again. I missed it.
There does seem to be. So you, what was the last thing you heard me say?
Yeah, we were all riding down. His other guys were, the other guys were following us along.
Yep. So yeah, you do manage to find Clark's horse, which is tied to the bent tree that you guys discussed the day before. So he's obviously.
And there's a note on it.
There is a note on it. Yes.
All right, let's see the note.
So as you lean down to swipe it up, you read it, and it says, in pretty bad handwriting, but it says, I spied dust plumes to the west. Hurry.
Okay.
Is that the direction that Dennis Nagy
Yes. Yes.
Well, shit. Can we see these dust plumes?
Yes. In the far distance in front of you, you can see them, yes. There is
in the direction we're going, so we're going to be coming up behind them?
In the direction you're going, but they're actually going. It's almost like they're going in an arc towards the town to try and get a better vantage point. But you're going as the crow flies. You're going straight there.
So if we continued on our path, would we be coming behind them?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, can we get to town before them?
Well, that's what we're going to find out. I mean, we don't have any other choices, really, apart from leave them all to die, which you could do.
Yeah, but then we're just going to die out here.
Yeah, maybe. So you guys are going to carry on riding?
Yeah, I'd say we make haste.
Okay. So you guys go thundering over the wastelands, until eventually you do end up getting to Tombstone. And people here seem pretty panicked, as you may have already, expected. You can see the dust plume behind you. It is now, say, 8-9 kilometers behind. So they seem to be taking their time, or at least they're not going. They're pretty sure that they've got their people where they want them, essentially. So they're not going hell for leather. Clark has already said about making sure that people are getting ready, and there are wagons being tipped over and placed in front of the town. There are the walls behind the town are being brought down so they can build it in front of where so people can lean behind them and things like that, and shoot. They're doing as much as they can in the short time that they can.
Yeah,
And
Sandgren's gonna kind of step up and get everyone's attention, and then just anyone who's not actively helping, he's gonna get every single person either working or getting like the non-combatants out of the way.
So, we are currently at around midday. Pretty hot. Well, not pretty hot. It's pretty cold, but it's crisp air. There's blue sky everywhere, and you can actually see Rake is already here, and he is walking around and generally inspecting the ramparts, or the makeshift ramparts that aren't very big, but he's looking at them. and he looks at you and says, "Oh hi, I'm just trying to decide where to make my grand entrance from."
I kind of look at him like, how did you get here? And you know what? I just kind of like a look of like a mix of confusion and like I'm impressed. You know, I was like, oh, I'm gonna see if I can't, funnel them in so we can take them man to man. I'm not great with the firearms. I'd rather have them. I'm gonna kind of pat the axe I've been sort of carrying around.
He looks at it and goes, inelegant, but
It's not my usual, but it's what I have available.
he just nods and says, "Yeah, I assume you get a lot of done with it. Why don't you put it to use and chop up some of this firewood for these people to start building these ramparts?"
That's a fair point. I've gotten at this point. I assume like I've had a moment to kind of get everybody working on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd probably get to work on that myself. Like Sangern is always it never shies away from the hard labor.
So Rake nimbly jumps up to like the tallest part of what looks like a townhouse, and he sort of looks like he's got one leg up on the highest bit, and he's looking across the wastes with one hand around the hilt of his sword, and you could almost think that he's posing for, a marble statue or something as he looks out across the waste to see what the hell is there. His men,
Majestic as fuck.
yeah, his men start coming in, and they start helping too. And yeah,
I'd like to dig a few small pits because I mean, like a lot of like dynamite isn't that rare of a thing.
no,
So I'm gonna assume that they've probably managed to get. They have enough guns. They're getting. We know they're getting supplied. So I'm gonna assume they have like some sort of grenade or dynamite. So I want to dig a few pits around. So if somebody sees like a dynamite coming in, they can like kick it into the pit. So all the explosions of force, just as straight does not get blown into people.
true. Okay, yeah. With you. Okay.
I'll be down the tavern, brewing up Molotovs, mixing them up,
Okay,
handing them out to various.
that's cool. So how many Molotovs do you want to make?
Depends on how much stiff alcohol you've got in the bar, basically.
You can make about
Probably bottle like stiff liquor. And
you can make about 20, 30. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll. Take them out to...
Yeah. Let's roll a d30 plus whatever you've got in alchemy times 2. Oh shit. So that is another 4 on top of that, so that is 30. So
Nice.
you make 30 Molotov cocktails, which is pretty handy, and you start spreading them out and telling people how to lob them. That's fine.
Yeah.
So I would say you guys, from what you have available, you're pretty much well stocked. Are you passing out the rifles that you got from the raid? You giving them to people and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So where are you positioning yourselves? So we have the town. You're facing northwards, and that's where you can see this small army of 200 riders. Is 201 riders is coming up on you. Your makeshift ramparts are about 6 to 8 feet high. They're not very big. In fact, you can even make out the shape of like deck chairs and things that have been thrown in there, just to make it this makeshift wall. Where are you guys going to position yourselves on this thing?
So
Did they look like they had heavy cannon, anything larger than
No.
normal rifles?
No.
not the rate they're traveling.
I'm going to take point up in. Is there a church in the town?
There certainly is. So the wall is actually attaching onto what looks like a townhouse, which Rake is now standing on, but it is overlooking everything. Yes.
Yeah.
There's enough space up there for about 8 or 9 men. If you want to chuck sharpshooters up
Is
there.
there one more in the centre of town, i.e., not on the battlements?
No.
There isn't one.
No, they're all
Okay, I'll
smaller.
take point up there.
Okay.
It's just a case of I don't want to be right next to somewhere somebody can throw dynamite on.
Okay.
I threw a couple of our best shots up there with him.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say Clark and a few others. Let's say there's 5 up there with Filberto, and of course Rake is there as well.
I would be so. What I kind of wanted to make sort of a killing zone that they kind of, would end up funneled into, sort of like a bit of the wall that they can kind of get into, but turns them around.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a direct line of sight. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, I want to be there so that they won't have a line of sight on me until they're right up on my shit, and I can just start hacking at them.
Okay. Cool. So you're going to be where they're going to try and break through the wall, essentially. And then as soon as they do, there you are. Okay. You've got a few of the more burly lads with you who aren't very good shots, and they've volunteered to come with you with, like, axes and hatchets and things like that, ready to go.
Also, can I, would there be enough time to maybe fashion some crude spears?
Not really. No. We're already pushing it with people.
That's why I was asking. I didn't think so, but
can we blacksmith some? No.
Literally just like.
No, I know. Maybe you get one or two stakes, but by the time they're here, you guys are going to be well entrenched in it. So.
Can I make a Detlink? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Out of bamboo. No. So, eventually, the host gets there, and the ground shakes with the sound of 200 horsemen, and they're all standing around outside, and a few of them are firing into the air, and everyone looks pretty scared as they're looking around at each other. Who's looking at the host? Well, Filberto, you're looking at the host, and Sangun, you can't see it, but you can peer through the gaps, a la Thorin Oakenshield in The Hobbit, where he looks through that little hole. It's really funny. But so you can do that through, and you look through like a load of furniture at these guys coming in.
Kind of have to move a little bit of like upholstery.
Yeah. The riders part, and the lead man comes forward dressed in a black coat. A black coat of office too. And he says, people of Tombstone, my name is Clint O'Mal. You guys know me. You know I'm fair-handed. You know I leave you alone if you leave me alone. But recently, some people from your town have decided not to leave me alone. In fact, not only did they not leave me alone, they kept me from claiming my property. And I believe you people took it upon yourselves to give them roof and succor. And he just like spits into the ground and says, now, I am a reasonable man. I'm willing to forgive slights if recompense is made. You will bring to me the 3 folks that you recently took in, and you'll place them in front of one of these nice mounds you've made out here. Do that, and you can take down this ridiculous wall and go about your lives.
Can I aim my rifle at him?
Well, you already are aiming your rifle at him.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. I'm going to look at the rat man and say, I'm just going to cast a look of understanding.
He says, I don't know what you feel like you want to do there, son, but I don't think this is your decision to make. I think you've got to let the people decide on this one and then act accordingly, you know?
Well, if they let him
I was going to try to assassinate him. I was just going to straight up headshot him.
Well, that's what he's saying. He's saying if you take that shot, all bets are off.
No.
Even if you kill him, all bets are off.
Stanger's going to kind of step up the wall a little bit, and kind of climb up a little bit so that people can see him.
Okay, so He's not finished his speech, so Dennis, you can. I didn't see that, but you can.
Okay, so that's... So yeah, I would want to... I don't know how discreetly I can do it, but light the fuse and keep riding, so maybe it's not obvious I did it. But I don't know how possible that is.
So they've all stopped. So you're not going to keep riding. You're going to ride up, light it, and ride away. Essentially, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You're going to need some serious skullduggery. Do you have any cavalry, man?
Oh, come on.
Cavalry, I don't think so, but I did have a good... No, the horse I had to go. I have their horse, okay.
Okay, so skullduggery and you're going to need swiftness and skullduggery to get you in and out.
Okay, I'm gonna also... I think I'm gonna try to stoke my blood for this one.
Okie dokie. I'm going to give you a +5 dice to stoking the blood because there's a lot of it in you at the moment.
Yeah, he's just filled to the brim. There's a lot to stoke.
My stoke their blood. Okay, stoke the blood was mind and devil blood. So plus I get 11 dice.
I think that's the most we've ever rolled in terms of a player.
No, I think Filberto had more, so I need
okay.
3 successes. So.
Yeah, so you stoke the blood.
2, 3, 4, yeah. Okay, so that's... How many extra dice? That was 2 or 3 extra dice. Could we check the rules?
I think it was 2 extra dice.
Yeah, 3 extra
on 3 or
dice,
more
but I needed 2 successes and 3 dice, not 3 successes and 2 dice, so 3 dice. So 3 dice plus that is, so that's 2, and plus 2 plus... 2 plus 2 plus 3 is 7. Okay, that's not that good. But something.
Oh,
Okay.
well,
4
shit.
successes.
So, and the really good successes too. So you head over to the ammunition cart, and you literally just you can see you're not gonna get to any of the rest, to anything else. So you on a blind bit of luck, you just light a match and say please, and you flick it in, and a little bit of a fire starts, and then you hear the distinct sound of from inside of the cart. Are you going to want to ride away pretty swiftly?
I mean, they didn't notice me, right?
Not yet. They're noticing now that the sound is happening, but they've only got 5 seconds and they're not going to reach it in time.
Fair enough, but did they notice that I lit it? Probably yes. So that does seem like...
In the hubbub, you're gonna want to get away from this explosion rather than focusing on who's going to... You know what I mean? I'm only going on common sense. Like, you're not going to be waiting around to say...
If I ride away, do I also have enough... As I ride away, can I ride past the vegetable wagon and just like chuck another dynamite in it so it ignites the another one that's there?
You can try and ride away and do that as well, yes. But what are you doing to get away from this explosion first? I want to make sure you don't die first, and then we'll see if you can do anything else.
Well, riding my horse really fast away.
Okay, so that is going to take a swiftness roll, and it would be cavalryman, but you don't have any, which is fine.
I mean, it was 5 seconds, so I wouldn't get away from an explosion at that time.
To turn the horse around, then dig your heels in. I mean, maybe you get spooked. Maybe you're trying to get away.
Okay, fair enough. Okay,
that's fine. That's fine. So that's all you needed. So you bolt away from this. You just need to avoid 2 failures essentially. So you bolt away, and a few seconds later, a huge eruption of fire goes up. Like essentially like what Sangun's put there. Essentially that kind of explosion. Bang, and then everything goes up behind it, right? And it flings...
Do any people die?
It flings a lot of people and horses all about the place. There are riders going around on fire. There are people being thrown into the air, and the entire formation looks around and starts it goes into chaos, complete chaos. You feel that with a good skullduggery roll, you could probably make it to the other cart and set that one off too. Do you want to attempt to do it?
I'm considering. Like, the question is, should I do another... stop the blood roll for that. But the thing is, that's just vegetables, and they already arrived here, and they're not planning on a siege, so if not, will be very strategically significant. So I do think I will just ride away and then later tell Fulberto that there's dynamite in the food cart so he can try to snipe it. Otherwise, I think it's better to drag the situation out, considering the corpses I hid between their supplies are gonna wake up and start wreaking havoc eventually.
Right, so you're just gonna
So I do
ride
think
ride off and
that sounds like a good time to escape. Yes.
okay, so it's going to ride off. Okay, so you're riding off, and Filberto, you can see this one lone rider riding off, and he seems to be flipping the bird to everyone behind him. So that's probably Dennis as he's riding away.
Can we see chains on him?
You can hear the chains from here. Yeah, you can hear the clinking as he's.
I would go. Oh yeah.
He's desperately riding away. You can see he's mouthing something to you. Do a perception roll. Mind and perception.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got mind plus perception.
Yeah.
Okay. It's because if it was only perception, I've got like -2.
2 successes. He seems to be mouthing the word vegetables. But like, vegetable as he's riding away.
Fair.
And then and Rake turns to you and goes, "Do you have any idea what that fucking maniac was saying?"
He said the word vegetables. I assume he's probably got more of them boomsticks in a car of some description.
He says, "Do you mind handing me that fine rifle of yours?"
Yeah, it's loaded with explosive at the moment.
So he looks through the sight. It's got like a rudimentary sight on there, nothing special, but it is slightly magnified. He looks down and sees and he gives it back to you and says, I'm going to do a perception roll for him. That's unfair for me to just say he does it, so he might not. Perception roll.
Very good.
Yeah. So he says, yeah, you want to aim below the radishes there. See at the back, and he points. He says, I'm no good with these things, but you have fun.
Fair enough. I guess I just sit there and line up the shot.
That is that is going to give you. I'm going to allow you to add your perception dice to your shot. So whenever you make the shot,
you recognise adding perception, given is about the worst thing you can do.
Remember, he got negative perception when he got shot.
Oh. So you're thinking, I really want to. Yeah. So just do a normal roll. Just do a normal.
Alright.
So it'll be mind and rifleman, is it?
Yeah, I only have mind, so it'll be mind.
Shooting with your mind.
So it's it's explosive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4 successes. That's something.
Okay, do one more, please.
Oof.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice.
So the cart goes up in a smaller explosion than last time, but it's still an explosion. So it goes up with one hell of a kerfuffle, and more people are saved this time because they're sort of expecting something of the sort. But the formation is in disarray, and radishes and lettuces and cabbage are flying all over the place. A carrot gets embedded in someone's eye and throws him from his fucking horse. And, Clint is very, very, very annoyed. And he yells at his men to get their formation in order. And after a few unsuccessful attempts, finally, the 100 or so men left. A few of them have ridden off, but like 130 are left. And he turns around and says, people of Tombstone, you have 5 minutes. Quit these tricks.
As he's doing that, can I have climbed up onto the wall so I can talk?
Yeah.
To people? I would let him finish though.
Yeah, that's it. He's done.
Alright. So I'm gonna turn towards the people and just kind of like, people of Tombstone, taking this in, you've taken care of us, and you fought beside us. These raiders have been a scourge on you since long before we came. They say they live and let live. We all know that's not the case. Not truly. If you want us to go, if you truly believe that that's the right course of action, we will not force you into a war. But I doubt he's going to hold up his end of this bargain.
Clark makes his way down the tower, and he says to you, Sangun, he says, I tell you what, let us put it to a vote. We got 5 minutes. Let us put it to a vote. Just let's just see, okay? This you're asking a lot.
Of course.
So he jumps down, and the 25, 30 townspeople get together with the 20 or so, riders that you've got, and they start conferring, and you see like hands being raised and counted. That is very large, and you see another set of hands being raised and counted that is much smaller. And Clark looks down and looks kind of nervous and at the result and kind of unhappy. But he climbs up to you, Sangun, and says, "All right, we're with you."
We'll make it count.
We better.
And then I'm gonna turn towards the people in general and says, let's make them take count of everything they've taken from you.
They just start. A few of them start cheering and like, but it's kind of muted because they know that they're outnumbered by so much, and they've already heard loads of explosions that they had nothing to do with. So they're just like, yeah, yeah, just kind of thing, yeah. And
Odds may seem impossible,
yeah,
but you have something they don't have. You have something worth fighting for. They just pillage, they raid. They don't have anything of substance. You're fighting for your home.
they're more happy with that. They're a few of them go towards the ramparts, and even a few of the women start like, there's this old woman who looks like she's in her 70s, but she's got her husband's old cattle revolver, and she's like, lumbering herself up the ramparts to look
Does
at
she
the.
have a cowboy hat?
Yes, but it is a ragged straw cowboy hat that she's she's holding it on because the wind is like really bad up here. And then Rake turns round to you, Phil Burton, says, "Yeah, he certainly got away with people, doesn't he?"
Definitely. He's a charming man.
Yeah, good shot, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn toward.
I'm just gonna turn to Rake and say, "Do you want to help me line up another? I think let's get rid of this bastard."
He shrugs and goes, "Yeah, fair enough." And he asks for you to get the rifle back.
Yeah.
So he looks down the sight. And,
does anyone else have a set of binoculars?
No, not at this point.
Oh, okay, there's not another even like a glass
cheap,
instrument or something.
Maybe a bottom of a bottle.
So
Basically, I wanted him to spot for me.
He gives it back to you and says, I probably aim 2 or 3 feet above his head. If you're going for a straight kill shot. If you're just looking to hurt the guy, then 1 foot, 2 foot might do it. Maybe a little to the left with the wind.
Yeah. For a man who doesn't know how to shoot a rifle, you seem to be very knowledgeable about this.
He just nods and goes, "Thanks."
No, just thanks, no explanation. Sangren's gonna turn turn towards riders,
Mhm.
or no, the bandits, and just kind of the people and just shout, people of Tombstone have had enough of all of you.
Okay, so
Try what you will, but you will pay in blood.
okay, so he literally just gives the order to attack, and the gunfire starts coming in.
Silence him as he's trying to
Go
give
for
that
it.
order.
Go for it. Go for it.
Like
I
as
was
soon as
just gonna
I'm done
not a
talking,
single bullet. Yeah, it's literally the second Sangan shuts up. I'm gonna silence him.
it's
Bang.
exclamation
Okay.
point on my statement.
Yeah. So
Oh dang!
a gunshot rings out, and it looks like you've hit this guy in the head. His head wheels backwards, and he goes reeling sideways in his horse, and his blood starts pouring from his head. But he holds his head and then looks up at you, and then points, and a huge volley of gunfire comes straight back up towards the tower, which is, well, I'm just gonna do them on you. The other people will be getting them as well, but 4d6, bang. So that is.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
That is before your armor. That is 8 damage before your armor.
What about his? Does he get anything from cover?
Now, let me just have a little look here. Okay, yeah, good shout out, David. Yes. Yes, you're taking 6 damage altogether, and that is before your armor. So, what did your armor take off?
I think that is. Yeah, I think that actually counters it.
Brilliant. So you duck behind the cover and it hits the cover. Brilliant. Okay. So a huge volley of gunfire happens, and you notice that everyone else ducked down, but Rake just stood there, just yeah.
Slice a bullet in half. Please tell me he slices a bullet. In half.
Not yet, but like he's
I'm here for it.
he's sort of like you notice like he's tugging very lightly the thread that holds the sword in the scabbard loose. He just takes it off. So, Dennis, what would you like to do? You've seen it's all kicking off now. So the raiders are now vastly depleted, but they're racing towards the ramparts and they're trying to dig through, whereas the townspeople are shooting through the ramparts and are actually knocking a few people back. They're throwing grenades in, which are taking out a bit of the rampart. What would you like to do? Chaos is everywhere. It's crazy.
No one is trying to ride around the rampart?
No, not at this moment in time. No. I think
so
they're assuming that it's going to be all the way around. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
We never said the bandits were smart.
Filberto's gambit might have paid off and basically got this guy to lose his cool too, essentially. So.
I don't know either what to do, because if I just try to ride into camp, they're gonna assume I'm one of the enemies, because the townspeople will not know. Filberto and the other guy will know.
You could try, as an example, you could try. I'm only telling you this because it's something that you would know from what you're seeing, and I don't really have the words to describe it. But you could, it's not armored around the back, so you could probably take a little bit longer and ride around there and join the defense if you wanted to. But you have to make sure they didn't know you were bandits or something.
I mean,
You'd also have to make sure that no one follows you.
that does seem like a plan. I would probably, when I arrive, tell the people to just like drag out the siege as long as possible, because I made sure that stuff will start worse happening to them if the siege lasts multiple days.
I don't think it's planned to last multiple days. I think he's here to end this today. To be fair.
You also just go and assassinate the boss. Just go up to him and shank him in the melee.
Is Vampire Lady with us? Them?
No.
Oh,
Shank.
Definitely shank.
God. Can I try looking for the vampire lady if I notice that she's not there?
Sure. Yeah. You can do that. Yeah.
She stands out.
Do a perception check.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way that hot air balloon stands out among a bunch of planes.
Okay, that's one.
Okay, so you're not seeing her. No, you're not seeing her in the group. There, you're not even sensing her with from vampire to vampire. You're not really sensing her at all. In
We're
fact,
next to our
roll
river, right?
roll to stoke the blood for me.
Okay. So
Oh,
that is
look at that.
because of
Almost,
successes.
almost like there's something really large standing behind you. You know that feeling that you get. You know, or like a storm right behind you. You turn around and with your vampiric senses and your devil eye, it's almost like she's back there somewhere, like she hasn't come with the army, but it is like there is a roiling storm of darkness and rift energy around this woman.
I need some silver, but I know where she is at least. Kinda.
It looked like it's getting closer.
Okay. I do definitely ride in. When we were back at the town, did people have some silver there?
Um,
Because I do remember we wanted to check.
what do you mean in the town you're defending, Tombstone?
Yeah,
They,
is
they,
there
they, they,
silver
do,
there?
do have like a crate of silver. Yeah, it's a modest amount. It's not very much.
Okay, so I do ride around and into Tombstone and try to get like either I ask people for silver or try to make my way to it because we will need silver.
Okay, so you're doing that. Okay, it's going to take you at least 10-20 minutes to get around there and to get all your armor off so people don't think that you're one of them. So what we're doing. So let's go with some fire. So let's see how well the two sides are doing, considering that you got their numbers down. So
I assume we're also chucking some Molotovs out
yes.
as well.
So 50 d6 for the. This happens at the same time, by the way. So this isn't like you're not losing out. So this is them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good fire. That's everyone shooting at you, by the way. That's everyone shooting at everybody in the battle. So that's not them shooting you. So
we also have cover. They don't.
exactly. So, and then call it 25. Roll 25d6 for your men. It's 5d6 plus. We'll call it another 10. So 35d6. That's for your Molotovs. Okay. So
It's a lot of fives.
it seems
A
like
lot of ones.
you guys are losing, but you're losing slowly. You know what I mean? So it's not collapsing. You're not being blown away. You're doing the best you can. Everyone's firing. There's gunfire everywhere. But unfortunately, they seem to be pushing you back. So we'll do another round of that. Another round of we'll do the 50d6.
Well, can we try to get them, lure them towards like that sort of killing field I was trying to set up?
Sure.
Yeah. So I think just I kind of just like as a shout, like the people I have here are waiting for the comments. Like, don't let them push whichever side I'm on.
Yeah.
We can't let them get through the wall.
Okay.
Just trying to get them,
So
trick them into pushing that side.
that's cool. So the killing field is starting to do its trick. They're falling like flies now. So it's evened out quite a bit. I think it's time for you guys to introduce yourselves to the battle. So,
Oh yes.
Dennis, you are now you've run into the center of town. You've jumped off your horse, and you're now rapidly telling people to go who are back there, like the kids, to go and search for as much silver as they can carry and bring it into the center of town for you, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, basically that. I probably would inform Sangren too that there might be something worse coming than we're facing up front, and at least me and him should go considering we're vampire hunters by education.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be like, trying to be butchering riders in our little killing field.
Well, this is just before that happens. So Dennis is there first, and he gives you the last bit of information that you need. You do find it quite funny that Dennis's first action on returning is to rally the orphans, but so
Orphans yet.
yeah.
Yet. So yeah, I'm gonna nod and say, we'll take her when she comes. But for now, we need to hold out that long. And I was like, I probably like saying that like in the middle, like swiping at someone with my axe.
Okay. So yeah.
Go back then.
All right. Let's get everyone involved in the fight. Dennis, are you going into the fight, or are you going to manage behind the lines to make sure you got silver and stuff later on?
Yeah, I'm gonna get the silver, and I think I'm gonna try to actually go and try to hold off the woman on myself. Like, not defeat her, but hold her up.
Okay. So one of the orphans, quote unquote, you don't know yet, runs over to you with a steel, looks like a steel gladius weapon, and she just says, my dad once said this is silver. I'm not to like, lose it. Do you want it? I think he's dead.
Does it look like what? Does it look like one of those fancy Blackcoat weapons for hunting vampires?
Yes.
You thank the kid, and I say, your dad was probably a pretty great man.
Aww.
She just nods.
Does a vampire wielding a silver weapon also have any effect on?
He doesn't want to be touching it, but no, the handle's fine.
I imagine I'm wearing a glove underneath, but yeah, it would probably be pretty bad if she like grabbed it and made me stab myself.
I mean, yeah, like Sangren had a silver dagger.
Yeah, fair.
That I'm pretty sure the boss has now. That son of a bitch. But he's also got like like a proper gauntlet. He actually. Do I still have my knuckled gauntlets?
No, those didn't come with you into the wastes, unfortunately. At least you didn't tell me they did. So I'm guessing.
I was saying I pretty much took all my weapons except for my
Oh well, if that's the case, then yeah, sure, you got them on you.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably not on you. They're probably in the house somewhere, but they're not.
Well, I mean, if I'm going into a fight, I'm going to be wearing my knuckle gauntlets.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I mean, like I lost most of my like bladed weapons, from getting blowed up, right?
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
The knuckles would have been
on your person. Yeah. Okay. So, we'll go with Filberto first. Are you firing into these men down below? I'm guessing.
Yeah, I will load incendiary this time.
Okay. Let's get you a full combat turn.
Oof.
Cool. So you're setting fire to horses, men, everything. You're trying to aim for the main guy. You do hit him once or twice, but it's mainly glancing blows, and he's still like getting his head seen too. But yeah, you're firing down. You're taking people down, and so your men up there as well. They've been doing quite well. They've been firing quite a few down into the. You're all lying down, almost almost horizontal, just firing down. So, Sangan, what would you like to do?
So I've lured people into my killing field. Me and the brutes are just gonna be trying to be hacking these dudes to pieces.
All right, away you go. Just do a full combat turn. You don't need to run anywhere. They're all on top of you already.
Yep. Okay, let me count how much I get. Cause I've got the giant.
Finally, Sangan gets to chop things when he's been having 3 weeks of shooting.
I know. I've had to shoot so many people. It's just. Let's see. I've got 6 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2, right? It's just plus 2 in general for attacks.
Yep. Alrighty, so
succeed on 4s.
So yeah, you are smashing guys' heads in, left, right, and center. One guy steps up to you and puts his sword up to block your axe blow. You chop through his sword and then cut him in half, essentially. Such is the rage and the rightness of your cause, essentially, in protecting these people. And I think the fact that people are actually standing up for Sangan has made quite an impression on him, because no one ever does that in New Corinth or whatever.
Literally, no one ever does that.
Yeah.
Especially not YouTube.
Yeah. So yeah, you are literally there and you're fighting around. Your men are also doing extremely well.
Actually, that's one of the attacks in the combat round. I actually get another attack.
Yep. Let's see how that goes.
Oh yeah, that's even better.
All right, yeah. So they're being pushed back now. They're losing men. They're down to about 60 men, and you guys are down to about 30 fighters. But this is looking a lot closer than what it once did. This is going really, really, really poorly for them. In fact, you can actually see the look on Clint's face has turned from smug, contrite, superiority to, might have bitten off more than I can chew here. Yeah, this might be not good. In the melee, you can actually see that there are lots of struggles going on and things like that. So let's do another round. Dennis, are you running out with the sword, or are you staying in with the sword? What are you doing with the sword right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna go try confront the vampire lady now.
Okay, so she's nowhere near you right now. You can tell that if she's carrying on a pace, the storm that she's the center of will be on top of you in like an hour or two.
So if we have time, then yeah, I'm gonna probably try with the normal fighting, and probably the best thing I can do is start throwing dynamite at the people considering they're probably pretty close and pretty
over the ramparts, yeah.
Yeah, just throw some dynamite over the ramp.
I will roll the attacks for the armies first, and then I'll come back to you then. So roll 30 d6 for the enemies, and roll 20 d6 for the allies. So that fight is going, I would say, par the course, but the numbers are starting to tell. Even though you've done amazing damage to these guys, the numbers are starting to tell a little bit. Where they've still got like 40 men left from the last salvo of fire and combat, but you guys are down to like 15. So they've basically got double what you have before Dennis comes in with his dynamite. So let's do a combat round from Filberto. Let's get you firing in there.
Sure. Are they not in some way starting to break? Because surely if you lose over half your men...
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
3/4 by now. Oh.
This will be a standard shot.
Yep. Yep, so you're sniping people from horseback, from their horses, things like that. Your men are also doing well, laying down the fire. You've noticed that Rake has like wandered away and is now directly overlooking the combat, and it's almost like he's gauging who's going to win and what the hell's happening. So his sword still isn't out. He's still like got his hand on his sword. So, Dennis, go for it. What are you going to do?
Can I just start throwing bundle up all my 3 dynamite sticks and just chuck it at them over
chuck it over the ramparts? Yes. Be careful not to miss, because we don't want those ramparts to go anywhere.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. So I'm gonna stoke my blood first too.
Mm-hmm.
Do I still get the fancy bonus for all the drinking?
Yes, you do.
That's really helpful. Yeah, that's a lot of successes. That's
okay.
A lot of successes.
So yeah, the sticks of dynamite go flying, and
That was just the stoke the blood roll for now.
Oh, sorry, go on then. So roll your.
So what would be the dynamite throwing roll?
Strength.
Actually?
Strength.
So strength plus 3. So.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes and 2 fails.
So the dynamite sticks go flying over, and you can tell they hit just at their mark, and you can actually see one horse go flying into the air, backwards, and the men in front of you start to peel back towards Clint, who's not entered yet into the hole that was blown into the rampart. He's not entered. He's on the outside, and the smoke starts to clear. The gunfire starts to die down. And things go very, very quiet. And suddenly, your allies start to get back up. Ready to go. Ready to fight. But unfortunately, they start turning on their own men. And all of the corpses outside of the fort start to rise. You've gone from a situation where you are now 20 odd men against 15 to around 170 corpses and 15 men against 10 people. Very quickly. The situation has gone from hopeful to utter despair in a matter of seconds. Your men, Sangern, are being shredded because a lot of them don't want to fight people that they were just, fighting with. So, you can see, Dennis, people are running out of the town now on horses. So a few mothers who are protecting children have put their people on horseback and they're riding away. A few of the remaining Tombstone fighters are running towards their horses. Sangern, you're standing there, just you've not seen this happen before, whereas Dennis has. So you are unbelieving of what is happening right now. The timing could not be worse. Until a flutter of cloth falls down around you, falls down in front of you, of crimson cloth, and this furry shape slams into the centre of these corpses. And you can see this flashing silver light eviscerating and chopping apart corpses from constantly. So that the 10 to 15 corpses around you are dead within a couple of seconds. Rake grabs you by the collar and says, "The other two will be fine. Dennis is near a horse. Filberto's up there. He can get away. We need to leave.
He knows everything. He knows everything.
You need to come with me right now."
I'm kind of like, yeah, I have to take a moment to compose myself, but I'll just nod and shout to any of the remaining defenders. Pure water. We've faced this before.
Okay. So the remaining defenders are running towards their horses. Like they're not sticking around because this situation is lost.
Yeah, but at least to help them as they're getting away.
Yeah. Filberto, what are you doing up there? Like, because all your snipers have turned to you and they say, "All right, boss, we can get you out of here. There's a clearing just behind us."
Okay, yeah, we withdraw. Hold them back though. We'll secure their
a firing retreat, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're firing, taking corpses down, but heading out. So you're are you pinpointing to make sure that other people are getting away from the corpses rather than the army outside?
Yeah, I'll point them to get away from the corpses.
Okay, so
we'll also see if we can't swing by the clinic to make sure that we'll pick up any of the last supplies of water.
Okay, cool. Dennis, you can either head out with Filberto, or get on a horse. It's up to you, or you can stay for a final last stand if you wanted to.
I think he needs to do a windmill with his chains.
Join up with Sangern, and I'm gonna try to help hold back the tide of zombies at least somewhat with my chains, because exactly they're supposed to be.
Well, Sangern has been. There's a lot of corpses between you and Sangern right now. You're not sure you can kill them all. In fact, you're pretty sure you can't. You're very sure you can kill the ones between you and the exit with Filberto to help the families get away, but Sangern was right in the middle of this. So he
can you? I was like in a little cove from the walls. I don't know that he could even see me.
And he didn't.
He knows where I was.
Unfortunately, he didn't have the reanimation information, so he was in the middle of it, surrounded by tons of corpses. Now he's fighting for his life. So you've got two choices. You can either make sure the families get away with Filberto and hope that Sangern makes it out, or you can put your life on the line in probably a 9 out of 10 possibility of it being a losing effort to try and make sure that you can get to Sangern to help him.
Because you don't even know if I'm still up.
Could I throw my chains to him?
You can definitely try. Yeah. So
yeah, I would do that because they would be rather helpful to him.
Do a strength check. Don't stoke the blood. Just add wherever you get anyway, and do a strength check as well.
You've already done stoke the blood a couple of times.
Yeah, it's fully. Okay,
It's all Stokio.
that's good enough. That's fine.
24, yeah, 14.
So Sanguine, as you're being led away by Rake, something heavy hits you, and you go to hit it, and then you realize it's chains, and it's Dennis's chains, and you look up, and you can see Dennis at the far, like 50, 60 feet away, and he just nods at you, like with a look of real concern on his face, before racing off to deal with to help Filberto.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think I'm gonna start using these as like, kind of like smashing them through these
Yeah.
zombies as I'm going.
Yeah, so they're bursting into blue flames as they're careening, as they're getting smashed by these things, and finally, you guys make it into the clinic, and you can see Rake turns around with his sword and is like eviscerating corpses as they try and get in, and finally, when you turn around, you can see that he's running over to the opposite wall, and he kicks through the wall, like he kicks through this wooden wall to the other side. He's just cutting through it to try and get through, and you can see on the other side is just a wasteland essentially. There's these wastes and a few bits of rampart that are still left, but impossibly, Sangern, you can see a door out there, and it's just standing there, like on its own. Like if you pushed it would just fall over backwards. And he says, for God's sake, get over here now.
I'm confused, but I'm not going to argue with him.
Okay.
I'm going to say, men, I'm going to tell the men, grab some water. Grab as much water as you can. If you can get a bucket,
Okay.
find a bucket.
So you guys, just to save confusion, one group is heading out of the passes to get away, right? And that is Filberto, Dennis, and the townspeople. You guys are getting away. And
Ratman and I have been separated from everyone.
Yeah, Rake and Sangern are heading towards this door. So Rake turns around and starts killing these things that are following you through, and says, "Open the door."
I'm not going to argue.
You open the door, and you can see what looks like a street. Just a normal human street. It looks quite sunny as well.
Visible confusion.
He turns around and says, "Do you need any other fucking invitation? Just go."
I will go through it, and I'll kind of hold on the other side so that he can so he comes through.
Yeah, so he dives through with you and shuts the door behind you, and he rapidly puts the sword away, and you can tell he gets his hood and swiftly puts it up very quickly, and it looks like he really doesn't want to be here. Now,
where is here?
Without giving too much away, Sangern, I would like you to describe the street on which you live.
You mean, wait, you mean where I am, or?
Yes, like right now, where you live, where you're sitting now.
Like, I mean, it's just kind of a big, wide open street.
Okay. How many cars are on the street?
A couple dozen parked alongside.
Cool. What's the weather like?
Sunny.
Okay, typical LA. Cool. And what kind of an area is it in? Is it heavily residential, or is it more suburban, or is it more?
It's kind of the edge of a city. There's apartment buildings everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And some businesses.
Mm-hmm.
But no, there aren't any actual like houses. It's suburban, but suburban apartments.
Okay, so and you would say it's a Sunday, so it's pretty quiet. There's not that much going on around the place.
In general, yeah.
You can hear one or two dogs barking, I'm guessing, in the local neighborhood or whatever's going on.
Yeah.
So, you are standing in the middle of this street, and a car comes down the street and beeps at you, and you hear some guy go, "Get on the fucking road!" And Rake just pushes you to the side, and he goes past and he goes, yeah, I really hate it here, so maybe
kind
we
of like like pointing at the car as it goes, like, what is that?
I'll explain everything. My people originally are from here. Kind of. Ish.
I'm just kind of like I'm not really answering because I'm just so
Yeah.
confused.
He says, yeah, we came over to your world a long time ago, and we were turned into this. Right? Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The energies of your world turned rats in this world into me when we crossed over into your world.
Okay.
Uh, this looks a lot different to the last time I was here. I'm not gonna lie. And he's like looking around, and says, but I do know a way out. There is one door that should lead back to the wastes. Unless you want to go into town and get a strip dance. Apart from that, we can.
I mean, at least those words are words he understands. But it's like, no, I'm good. It's like it's helping. It's helping that there's words he understands.
Okay.
Being mixed.
He's
So
like,
he's like, no, let's get back. Also, Sangern is, literally head to toe in blood right now, isn't he?
yeah, and you're standing next to a giant anthropomorphic rat.
Yeah.
But he has his hood up, so there's that. But he does. So, do you know of anywhere around you where you could go and not be seen for like 4 or 5 hours, like around where
Oh
you
yeah,
live?
no, there's parks up the like right up the hill.
Okay, he tells you that. He says, "We'll go there. We'll go there for 3-4 hours. Wait till it goes dark, and then I can get myself some boots, and then we can pass as them."
Okay. Okay. Um, I mean, yeah, Sangren is definitely all for not being in the middle of this, strange roadway. Like,
Yeah,
he can tell it's a road. He just can't figure out what's on it or what it's made out of.
yeah. So you guys head off towards the park, and he turns to you and says, "So, do you know what a corn dog is?" And that's when we'll leave that scene and come back to the scene. So, Dennis and Filberto, you guys are heading through what looks like a tight cave system, but it's not really a cave. It's sort of like a crack in the rock that goes all the way up. You can see the sky above you, but there's sheer walls, and you're being led by Clark, who knows the way out of here. And it takes a couple of hours. You guys feel free to discuss whatever you would like to discuss as you're moving through this part of the trek.
I guess I'll try to decant some of the holy water into it's basically holy water. Distill water into like little bottles
Mm-hmm.
and try to distribute them out.
Okay.
Because I assume somebody would have grabbed the bucket.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can do that as you're walking. It's a bit awkward the way that you're having to do it as you're walking, and it's a bit annoying. But eventually you're able to do that, dude. Yeah, and eventually, you're noticing that Dennis is being very quiet. Like you're noticing, he's if you have lost Sangern, he's not taking it very well at all. And you being typical Filberto, that wasn't the first thing in your mind. But I guess your character's learning. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of getting, oh, that's what humans do.
Honestly, Dennis would be more pretty pissed off than sad.
Yeah.
He would want to catch up with Gilberto and what happened, and he would be pretty pissed that they lost, considering how much he needed effort to set the whole situation up. But it's understandable. He's not mad at them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm still. Does Dennis look like? Has Dennis got any physical effects of the large amount of blood that he drank?
He looks bulkier, yes. And his temper seems to be even more out there than usual. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna keep my gun to hand, or close to hand. I'm just gonna be keeping a very close eye on Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want him going postal.
Mm-hmm.
Going postal on us lot.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's fine. So
I
you're
might actually ask him if he's right.
yeah, okay.
Not really. Once we're back, I'm probably gonna to be locked in a room without windows for a few months. But at least I'm alive. Though sadly it didn't work out as well as I anticipated. And I fucked myself up pretty bad for it.
You found a very well endowed vampire, a well endowed lady, apparently.
Yeah, if you can imagine, she's way stronger than the necromancer guy. Glad she didn't show up because I do think I could hold her back, but I don't think we can kill her in a straight up fight, even if it's all three of us. The necromancer guy, he seems easy by comparison, honestly. But
Are you sure
yeah.
it's not her that's the necromancer?
No, it's the guy. They're separate people. He's a former I know his story. He's a former Blackcoat, and she's his mistress. He deserted once they told him to kill her, stuff like that. Romantic story in general.
Romantic outlaws.
Honestly, the guy doesn't seem that bad. You saw, I blew up half his army, and he was just like, "Hey, you wanna still negotiate? It's the lady who's the psycho."
Crazy psycho bitch. Cool. Crazy psycho vampire lady.
Yeah, and she's a way worse type of vampire than me. Trust me there. Though I saw humans taking up worse than Persu.
And I'm gonna just sit there and say, I'm gonna cast you a really dirty look at that statement and be like, yeah, I'm just casting you the mother of all dirty looks. Of if they say they're worse than you, I'm looking at you going, that's got to be pretty bad.
Yeah, they're a real vampire, not a weird mutt like me. Anyway, I gave all my armor chain thing to Sangren so he doesn't get killed. So I need to get some armor pretty quickly because I'm essentially just wearing cloth right now.
Good idea. And I think Rake was with him.
The weird rat monster?
Yeah, I saw Rake. Yeah, he's a cool dude. Good
man.
Like
a werewolf? That like a werewolf or something? Where did you pick that up?
Ratman. I guess we wouldn't know the species. I guess, are they a native species?
So the ratters are a known thing in the world, yes, but they're pretty rare in civilized lands. The only thing, rats underneath the cities are not classed as ratters. They're the same species, but a different thing.
Yeah.
But the ratters generally were cast out when the Blackcoats rose in power, essentially, and all non-humans were essentially expelled from the major cities and went to live in places like this. And the ratters seem to be a dying race. So the rats aren't dying, but the ratters are. Like the rat people are dying as a race. There aren't very many of them left.
Fair enough. So yeah,
there are even strong rumours that they're all infertile, but
Yeah, he's a good ratter. He's a good ratter. Very, very well. Can handle a sword well. He's also carrying a ferrite sword.
That's some fancy stuff.
Yeah, don't know where he got it though. I'm curious.
I really hope Sangren didn't die with my chain.
And that would be a really good line to leave on as you guys walk out into the wastes. You're now in the open wastes as this acid rain begins to fall, and that's where we'll leave it for this session. That's a really good line to end it on. So, Dennis, you will get 1 point to put into any core stat, and you will also get 1 point. In fact, no, I'm going to change that. You get 1 point to put to any core stat. You get 1 point to put into Cavalryman. You get 1 point to put into Skullduggery. and you get 1 point to put into brawn.
So
Alright.
I'm gonna add the free core to strength.
Okay. So,
Cavalry went down.
let's go with Filberto. You will get 1 point to put into mind,
Alright.
1 point to put into
I guess I should have something in gun in rifleman.
rifleman. Yes, so we're going to go with rifleman. Have 2 points in that. It's not even in the rules, but I will add it. So put 2 points into that, into rifleman.
Alright.
And we're going with, looking at the way you were at a 0 now for your perception.
Okay.
You're healing slowly. You're at a 0 now for your perception, rather than a minus.
Fair enough. I'm somehow healing despite being dead. Interesting.
Exactly. Well, it's repairing the damage. You know, it's keeping it. You know.
Yeah.
Right. So, Sangern, you have you get a +1 to your mind. Okay.
Oh, big brain.
Yep.
I actually have 4 mind, 4 swiftness, and 6 strength now.
I'm going to give you a +3 to persuasion. Right? So we're going to add that in. That's a brand new skill, persuasion. +3 to that in the skills. Persuasion and rifleman. So you get a +3 to persuasion because of the way you were talking to the townspeople. All right.
All right.
And is there anything else? No. But I'm going to give you +1 to sneaking because you are literally sneaking through LA right now, trying to have people not see you.
All right.
But that is it. So you guys are all good for next time. Bear in mind, Dennis, you will be starting on 8 on... No, you won't because you drank this session. But if you don't drink next session, you'll be starting on 8 stress next time.
Right. Did it reduce the stress that I had before? Because
Yes, all that's gone. All that's gone. All that's gone.
Yeah. Okay. Do I need to drink people dry or just drink at all? Because I've honestly.
You need to drink much heavier than last time. So it's going to have to be not drink them dry, but very nearly drink them dry each and every time, each and every session.
Oh yeah, the prostitutes will not be happy about this one. We're random townspeople.
So now I'm taking input for the compilation of Sangern and Rake in LA, going to different fairgrounds and they're going to different bars and things. And
we go to a Renaissance fair.
Go to a Renaissance fair, yeah. Just striding in. Oh, that blood looks so realistic. Yeah.
Enter into a jousting competition.
Yeah.
They'll have fun in the new world.
I'm going to Disneyland. I'm going to Disneyland, guys.
All will be explained on that front, obviously. But yes, there are doors that lead to. So the original story of the Deathless Lands is that humans aren't native to that world. They came through the realm gates, which were attached to Earth, in some time in the 2200s, and those gates collapsed, and everyone started to regress into essentially a Wild West setting as people started to not be, started to essentially live with what they had on the frontier, kind of like Firefly, right? So it went like that. And what Rata was talking about was in those times, rats came through as well. Rats are not native to the world that you're in. They came through and they killed off most of the other vermin that were around as humans started to build cities. And a lot of the rats that came through were warped by the energies when the realm gates collapsed and started to mutate and change. And so there are a lot of rat beasts out in the wastes, but they're also rat people, essentially what ratters are and what Rake is. And a lot of these weird creatures, especially if they're sentient, do tend to be able to sense where other gates are that may lead back to Earth and back again, sort of a thing. You know, that sort of a thing. But I'm just setting that up in the lore so you guys know exactly. You know, all will be explained as we go on about how the hell things are going on and how he knows all these things. But for now, I just didn't want to leave you two in the dark. I wanted to let you know, in the background of the lore, it makes sense. Essentially, we're not just throwing stuff in willy nilly. So there we go. So yeah, so we'll see what conventions they go to, and
you should go to a metal you should go to a metal concert.
I just want to see them get in the back of a cab, and the cab he's just stoned, and he's like, "Oh, righteous," as he like drives off, sort of a thing.
Just like a really stoned Uber driver.
Yeah. Well, you could get a Buster Sword, but it wouldn't be made of Fey, so.
I mean, you know, it'll be a big ass sword. I think I can.
Yeah.
I think you know, or you know, even if I just get like see a show, maybe like a poster for Berserk, and it's like, oh, I need one of those.
Yeah.
So that when I come back to you know, our world, I get a fucking it's like, I need this made of ferrite.
Yeah. I have this here.
I have a great need.
You could do that if you wanted to. In fact, why don't you're gonna be over there for a little while, so why don't you, in the meantime, come up with some things that you'd want to find when you're over there, and we'll discuss it next time when we're back doing another session.
A bulletproof vest.
Well, that would probably be, yeah. I mean, it would set off alarm bells, and you do need money to buy things, of course. But yeah, we will reconvene next time, and that was good. I'll see you then. Have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
All right, guys. See you later.
Guys.
Bye now. Have a good night. Bye. Right, that was session number 3, I think, of Blackcoats. Hope you're all enjoying it. It's definitely picking up steam. That was the Siege of Tombstone, and next week we'll be seeing what the fallout of the siege was. So, see you next time. Have a good one.